I'm Ruth McCubbin, or as Julie used to say, Black Olives.
And I'm Campbell McCubbin, as Julie knew me, Campbell's cream of tomato soup.
My apologies to those who are hearing impaired and may use lip reading to follow along. This facial paralysis is only temporary. I almost didn't accept the opportunity to speak today, but then I thought of Julie and her courage in the face of a terminal illness to rise every day and face the day with joy and intention and determination and love, always love. So it is an honor to speak today about Julie. My first memory of her is standing in the lunchroom at CKWX C-Jazz and staring at the microwave. And we had been broadcasters. We knew how to record and edit and splice, but we'd never worked with a microwave before. So, big hint, it takes less than a minute to turn the inside of a muffin to charcoal. So that's how far back we go.
That's what I smelled down there.
Julie and I were broadcasters at a time when few women were on the air, either as news anchors, reporters, or disc jockeys. She started her career 2 years before me in 1974 in her hometown of Montreal at Chaume FM. And she moved across the country to the West Coast to work at CFMI FM and later C-Jazz FM, which begat KISS FM.
Julie was a host, as been mentioned before, on a couple of locally based information radio programs on which I worked with her virtually every day. I was a regular contributor to the show, and she would always make all contributors, not just me, feel like they were the only one, the best one, etc., etc. Feel like, well, the interview subjects themselves, because the interview subjects themselves felt like they were the most important thing in Julie's day. And more than once or twice, I know for sure, they hung around after the scheduled 10-minute interview to hang out with Julie. And several of them actually went for lunch with Julie after the interview was over. So she established that kind of a relationship with not just interview subjects, contributors to her show, and all of us. When I look around this gathering, I see so many radio people. You won't recognize them because they have a good face for radio, but there's a lot of them here. And it's a sign, I guess, of just how much Julie was loved by those who actually worked with her. And boy, did we work with her.
And whether she was interviewing Bob Hope or Gina Lollobrigida, Anne Murray or Leonard Cohen, or even the guy around the street, she had the natural ability to make everyone feel that they were the only person in the room. Julie was born to radio. That voice, so rich and warm, filled with laughter and seriousness. She was authentic, and she connected with listeners. The listeners felt that she was speaking to them. And it's the cruelest irony that ALS took her beautiful voice, and yet, befuddled as she was with a microwave, she mastered Facebook and continued to communicate with the world. To her friends, she was loyal and supportive, whether someone was needing guidance in their career or healing a broken heart. Julie listened with an open heart, offering advice and always laughter. She also sought advice from trusted friends. And Cam and I owe our life together to Julie.
It's true. Ruth and I worked together along with, side by side with Julie, on the news desk for 2 or 3 years back in the late 1970s. That's where we met each other, just a block and a half down the street here, 1275 Burrard. And that was in the 70s or 80s, and we went our separate ways for 35 years after that. I had no idea where she was, and she had no idea where I was. About 10 years ago, maybe 11, I was reading one of Julie's Facebook posts, and I saw this name, Ruth Adams. I wonder if that's the same Ruth Adams that I used to work with 35 years ago. So I sent her a private message on Facebook and said, are you the same Ruth Adams I used to work with on Facebook? And that's what she did. She went, yeah, I am. She turned out was living in Toronto, had been for many, many years prior to that. And she had recently been widowed, unfortunately, just months before. She was living in Toronto, as I say, and we became best buddies on Facebook. And when my wife died nearly 6 years ago, we knew, absolutely knew, we were meant to be together. And we married with Julie's heartfelt blessings. Sadly, COVID prevented her and Tom from attending our wedding, but believe me, they were there in spirit, and we are forever grateful to Julie for this magical coming together of Ruth Adams and Campbell McCubbin.
And I just wanted to say that when I was flying over to join Cam on Vancouver Island, that Julie was ecstatic that my flight was the 11 o'clock flight.
That's true. Julie created community. We all know that. Many of us gathered here today, live or live streaming, wherever you are watching. When COVID isolated people, she brought us together with a daily music theme, as you all know and probably all participated in. And no matter what was happening in Julie's life, a rehearsal with the mamas, choir practice, and illness, or being diagnosed with ALS, she made sure there was a new music theme every day, every single day, 24/7. For nearly 6 years, time flies. It was like, though, she had her own radio station right there. And to paraphrase that great song from the 70s by the Righteous Brothers, if there's a radio heaven, you know they got a hell of a host.
Love you, Julie. Love you forever.
Thank you.
I told you you'd hear stories that you want to just hold carefully. Who knew that Julie was a matchmaker? Matchmaker, matchmaker, make me a match. That's just so romance in the air, even as we grieve the loss and are full of gratitude.